Last week we made the data layer trustworthy. One schema, one source of truth for types. This week, the machine asks for permission. We're wiring the OAuth box, how a system gets the right to post as you, and as your company page, without letting that difference bleed into every file you own. Here's where we are. The blueprint is drawn, the data layer is lit, and the box we flickered at the end of last week, OAuth Connect, ignites today. By the end of this video, the machine will hold a token that lets it post as either identity through one connect flow and one post function. That amber path, client to routes to the platforms, is the route every post will take once the machine is allowed to speak. Let's open the box. Start with the thing the platform never says out loud. Your personal profile and your company page are two different identities. Every post has an author, and the API wants that author as a URN. Earn, li, person for you, earn, li, organization for the page. Same endpoint, same payload shape, different author string, and in a few places, different scopes and different rules. The naive fix is a Boolean. If his company, use this URN, else that one. It works, once. Then the same branch shows up in the post function, the media upload, the analytics fetch, and the third copy quietly drifts from the first two. That's the disease this episode cures. So how does the machine get permission in the first place? Not with a password, you never see the user's password, and that's the point. The connect flow starts with a redirect. You send the browser to the platform, carrying a URL that says who's asking, where to send the user back, and which permissions you want. Ask for both scopes right here, posting as the member and posting as the organization, so a single consent screen covers both account types. The user says yes on the platform's own page, on their turf, and the browser comes back to your callback carrying a short-lived, one-use code. Notice what that code is not. It is not the token. It rode through the browser, through the address bar, so it can't be trusted with real power. Now the part that makes OAuth actually safe. Everything so far happened on the front channel, the browser, the address bar, everything the user can see. And everything malware in that browser can see too. So the real exchange moves below the line. Your server takes the one-use code and posts it to the platform, server to server, along with the client secret, a credential that lives only on your machine and never ships to a browser. The platform checks the code, checks the secret, and hands back the access token on that same private wire. That's the back channel, and it's the whole security argument in one picture. The thing with real power is born on the side of the line the browser can never reach. You've got tokens for both account types. Now don't blow it in the application code. Here's the move this episode is named for, one post function. It takes an account, not a Boolean, and its very first line resolves the identity, to earn of account. Person or organization, decided once at the top. Below that line, the code speaks only in author. It builds the payload, attaches the token, calls the endpoint, and never asks which account type it's holding. And name the trade, because there is one. You've added an indirection layer. A new reader has to look inside to earn to see what actually happens. That's the cost. What you bought is that the difference between personal and company lives in exactly one place, instead of scattered through every call site as a branch that can drift. One function doesn't mean the differences vanish. Personal and company genuinely diverge in a few places. Organizations need a different scope. Fetching your display name hits a different endpoint than fetching the pages. That's real, and pretending otherwise just buries the branch somewhere deeper. So give the differences a home, one adapter module. Two small shapes, a personal adapter and a company adapter, each answering the same three questions. What's my URN? What scope do I need? Where do I fetch my profile? The rest of the codebase talks to that shared interface and never learns which one it got. The branch still exists, it has to, but it exists once, at the seam, behind a door with a label on it. Back up to the moment the browser returns from consent, because that callback route is where OAuth implementations actually break. Treat everything in that URL as hostile until proven otherwise. First, the state parameter. You sent a random string out with the redirect. The callback has to echo it back, and if it doesn't match what you stored, stop. That's a forged request, someone splicing their code into your user's session. Second, the error paths. The user can click deny. The code can expire before you exchange it. The platform can time out. Each of those needs a real landing page, not a stack trace. Only after state checks out do you make the back-channel exchange, store the token, and send the user on to a clean URL, the code stripped out, one use, already spent. So look at what actually came back. An access token, the credential every post will carry from now on. The scopes it was granted, member and organization, both from that single consent. And one more field that matters more than it looks, expires in about 60 days. That token started dying the moment it landed. Day 1, it works. Day 61, it's a string of garbage, and this machine is supposed to run for months without you touching it. 60 days is exactly long enough to forget it will ever fail. So store the token and store the clock right next to it. What we do when that clock runs out, that's next week's whole episode. So step back and look at the machine. The OAuth box is lit. Redirect out, consent once, both scopes, a one-use code back, and the token exchanged on the back channel the browser never sees. One post function with the URN resolved at the top, and one adapter at the seam where the account types genuinely differ. One flow, two identities, 0 scattered branches. But that token in the store is already dying, 60 days and counting. Next week, the token store, and keeping the machine alive without you. See you Wednesday.